What's up? It is I, the objective jerk. And I am, oh, that messes up my little thing, doesn't it? It is I, the objective jerk, and I am said, that doesn't make sense. This is the objective jerk, and I am said jerk. Wow, I really heard that slurp. So, what is up? I listened to my last podcast because I'm really trying to get down the audio, and it's not that good. Like, actually, parts of it were good, but the parts, like what sounds good on my headphones right now as I'm talking, doesn't sound good on what's published. You know what I mean? And it's because it goes through both on, my recordings for the podcast gets processed, and then when I upload it to Buzzsprout, it processes it even more. And then the same thing with the video side of it, iMovie processes it, and so it kind of changes it. So it I don't know, what sounds good on my headphone, it just didn't work. So it wasn't bad, but I did notice some stuff, so I'm not going to be making out with the microphone because it seems like it right about here. This sounds great, right? I mean, it sounds great later, not right now. And then also I had like noise gate setting on, which kind of helps get rid of any kind of background noise because I have like a fan on and stuff. But it makes that weird. It's hard to explain for those that know. But so I turned it off. I turned off my fan. So for the however long, I just won't have a fan on, which is not, I do have an air conditioning on. It's just in my room, so it's not as cool in here as it is in my room next door, which is, it's a doorway, so it does keep it somewhat cool in here. Anyway, what's up? I noticed too on my last one, I started the podcast right when the sun was getting ready to go down because it was still light out, but then as the episode progressed, you could just see it getting darker and darker in my in the video. So I thought that was funny, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I kind of keeps doing that, keeps clicking. I noticed that. I don't know if it's something having so many programs open kind of interfere with each other, I guess. Trying to clean up and do stuff while I'm recording, which is always fun for the listener or viewer, right? But I am trying, okay? So I do care, I do listen. I am trying to make a nice listening experience. What's weird is it does seem like, so the iMovie is working great, it seems like. But now it was the audio podcast Buzzsprout was not sounding that good. And that one goes through all kinds, has magic mastering, which I don't know. I pay a little extra for it to do some kind of extra mixing to make it sound better, sound like a real podcast, but it could all just be oh, that's true coat, undercoating, you want that, But I don't know. I've been using it now for a while. Anyway, but so I just got to figure it out. So I'm thinking, although I thought it last time, I thought that would be it, but I think I got it now. So this one will be better. And I kind of wanted to not wait too long to record. I want people that maybe just come across my podcast and hear it. I want them to, I know people might listen to the one about the Obama chef and be like, dude, what the hell? This guy's audio is horrible. So I am trying to make it, tasteful, I guess. Anyway, so what is up? Yeah, another plane crash, right? God, I see it keeps popping. I keep hearing this little pop, and I think it comes across on the on the podcast, and it kind of bugs me. Sorry, I'm like anal retentive. Anyway, so another plane crash. This one though was like a private kind of airfield. It wasn't commercial. It was just a few people, sadly, that died, and you know, I don't even think they have like a tower, you know, so you probably don't hear nothing because they can't. If it was another, they'd be like, oh my gosh, look at, see, because it's not FAA, whatever. There was no control tower or whatever, so they can't blame Trump firing all the air traffic controllers. So now the planes are flying blind from the left, you know. Now I'm sitting here looking at myself right now in the video, and I have my logo on this side, but now looking at this video, it looks like it'll be better on the other side of the screen, and so I gotta change that. I'm trying not to change stuff too much because I don't know, people like, you know, they like, you know, structure, I guess. So at least I do. So that's, you know, I kind of trying to keep it and not change everything all the time, but I can't help it. Anyway, all because of these headphones. I started wearing the headphones and I've been jacking with the audio, but I think it's for the best. Anyway, keep talking about the audio. Anyway, so what's the other thing going on? So supposedly Trump and Doge are contemplating giving some of the money that they find, or the excess money, or, you know, the money they're saving, to give it back to the taxpayers, which I think is awesome. So they're thinking about giving everybody $5,000, and that's pretty cool because I know that would help a lot of people. $5,000, just an extra $5,000. That's an extra month's worth of pay for a lot of people, you know. So they can put that down payment on the car or whatever. So I think that's pretty good. The thing is, I think if you voted for Harris, that $5,000, you should not get the $5,000. You should be able to select which foundation or whichever you want to give to. You know, because yeah, liberals suck. But could you imagine that though? $5,000.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thanks again for listening to The Objective Jerk. I greatly appreciate it. If you could like, subscribe, comment on wherever you're finding this, and you can also email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. So hope you're enjoying it, and please continue on with the episode. I mean, you know, that for a lot of people, that's maybe just something they've always, you know, somebody who's wanted to get a brand new drum set or a mountain bike even, you know, and I could use that and get a whole brand new mountain bike. Can I talk my wife into letting me do that? I don't think so. I wouldn't get, like, it's crazy how expensive some bikes can be, man. It's just insane. I keep seeing like videos of people riding carbon though, and then braking on jumps and stuff. But I don't do crazy jumps. I mean, I'll go off some drop offs and stuff like that, you know, that are a couple feet or something. I don't think I've ever done one more than like 4 feet, I want to say. Just because I'm kind of a big guy and I'm afraid I'm going to break my bike. But I got a steel fused with aluminum. I don't know. I'd have to look into that. It's steel, but it's light. So anyway, okay. $5,000. If you voted for Trump, you should get that $5,000 direct deposit. If you voted for Harris, you should get to get an email saying who do you want to donate the $5,000 to. I think that'd be funny. It's kind of a dick move, I guess. Maybe how about maybe 2,500 you get, and then the other 2,500 you vote. You get to pick who to donate it to. There. What's that going to do for people? I mean, some people who really don't need it are just going to be like, I don't need it, and they will just give it to somebody just to be like, eh. But there are people that will need it and use it who don't like Trump. Like, I'm just curious what that's gonna, I don't know. They'll still find some kind of reason. Oh, well, it was probably because, I don't know. They come up with the dumbest excuses and the dumb reasons. And, it's on both sides. Both sides kind of do it. They will completely, no matter what happens, their team is always good and right and everything. But I'm trying to set this thing up. Sorry, I'm messing with my mic. But yeah, it'll be just kind of funny because I was thinking about that when this all first started. I was like, that would be badass. I mean, so much money that's being. What if they turned around and gave a lot of it back to the American people? And if that would, I'm sure it would probably have to completely, red pill a few people. They'd be like, man, you know what? Maybe he is looking out for us. And I mean, people are getting red pilled every day. More and more people. It's happening. You see it, but you still do have those real stubborn individuals, such as my friend. Gosh, it keeps making that popping sound. I guess that's what. The screen. Like I had somebody comment on that, maybe putting and I have one. Maybe I'll try it. I had one on for a little while, but I was like, I couldn't really tell the difference. But I don't know, maybe different. Actually, I think I have a different microphone now, so maybe that would actually play a bigger part in this microphone. I don't know, because I'm hearing tonal changes and weird noises in my headphones, and it's driving me crazy. This is why I kind of don't like the microphone or the headphones. But yeah, so there's that. So yesterday, I guess since I keep talking about my mountain bike, so I talked about mountain biking yesterday. Was it yesterday when I did my last one? Yeah, because that's right, the tubeless. I was talking about switching back to tube tires. Well, yesterday was kind of getting stuff set up to go riding for today. And I was my truck needs a new starter, which is what I would use to put my mountain bikes in, usually to go wherever we're going to go riding. But I was going to see if I took the tires off, if I could get the bikes to fit in my wife's car. So that's what I was doing. I go to ride my bike to the car, and it's just my chain it's not working right. I'm like, what is going on? And then I was messing with it, and it kept coming off and all this kind of crap. I'm like, what the hell? So I go inside, I take my rear wheel off, and the cassette, I take the cassette off the wheel, and it's all chewed up, like inside, like it's all messed up. So it wasn't stationary to the hub and spinning, because like you pedal your bike, but then when you stop, your cassette will stop with it, and then your wheel, your hub, and your tire will keep rolling, and it makes that clicking sounds, click, 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 right? Well, I wasn't doing that, and so my chain kept coming off and just not, and I was like, at first I thought, like, did I put too much gunk on it or something? I was like trying to figure it out, but yeah, so my cassette is pretty much ruined, I think. I don't know. I mean, there's, the teeth and the other gears are still salvageable for whatever, but so I didn't go riding today because of that, because I basically don't have a bike now. So I've been trying to keep my eyes open for various things. So here's another, gosh, I don't know. Does anybody even really care? There might be a few people. I feel like I'm just talking about, I just kind of get tired of talking about politics all the time. I mean, I know that's kind of what the podcast is for, but I'm not like a commentary person. I'm not, I'll talk about some stuff, which I did, I guess, but I just talk about whatever I feel like talking about. So, is that a smart move for a podcast? Probably not, but I'm not really trying to grow the podcast. Like I said, I mean, if it just happens to grow, which it is, it's growing. It's just slow, but I'm not trying to make a living out of this. Just another hobby out of my 50 million hobbies, it seems like. But anyway, so where was I at? Gosh. Okay. So through me replacing all my components and all the different parts to my bike with, the valves, and I talked about it with my tubeless and everything like that. Well, so I upgraded everything else on the bike, right? But I've been having some problems with the drivetrain, the derailleur, and I said, like, I was talking about the chains and stuff. So I've always, I'm I'm a pretty mechanically inclined individual. I'm not I would never consider myself a mechanic, but I have a lot of tools I can do. I can get a lot done on a vehicle. My biggest thing is I'm not educated to the point of where I can diagnose a problem. Somebody can say, hey, this needs to be, oh, that's broken, you should fix that. I can fix it for the most part. I've done some pretty strenuous, intensive repairs on vehicles before. Granted, those were on older vehicles, which are much easier to work on. You put electronics in, and I'm just like, ugh. Like my wife's car has some wiring stuff, and I don't even know where to begin or even want to. Like, I just, I don't know. I don't even want to mess with electrical stuff. I mean, wiring in a home is different, but gosh. Anyway, so, and when I joined the military, I tested high for like mechanics, right? So the Army is a little different. They want to put you where they need you. Or if you test high enough, you can pick what you want. You know what I mean? But then the ones where they really need you is where you get bonuses and things like that. I mean, this is how it was when I joined anyway. It's probably the same, I'm sure. But so I wanted to be an MP. I tested high enough, and that's what I did. Years later, when I got out and I was actually looking to join the Air National Guard, so the Air Force, but the National Guard, I went and spoke with the recruiter. He looked at my scores, and he looked at me, he's like, why were you an MP? And that's because the Air Force generally puts you where you test higher. You know what I mean? So again, this might be different now, but where you test higher is your primary MOS. And then you can have a secondary, which is kind of like you get the one you get to pick. You know what I mean? Don't take it with a grain of salt because I wasn't in the Air Force. But just from what I can tell and from conversations I've had and various whatever. But, so like you'll test, like what the Air Force would do, from what I'm told, is you would, like, let's say you tested highest in mechanics, but you wanted to be, security police or whatever. They would be like, okay, we'll try and get you into security police, but your fallback is going to be mechanical because that's what you test. And then generally you end up getting what you tested higher in, which actually makes sense, really. I keep talking close to the microphone, but it sounds better like this, and I know that. Stop making out with the microphone, dipshit. See, it sounds better talking quieter, closer to the mic on my headphones, but when I just listened to my other podcast, it did not. So I'm really trying. Sorry. So please bear with me. So when I went and spoke to the Air Force, he was like, hey, why were you MP? And I was like, because that's what I wanted. And he asked me that because I scored high in mechanics, so if I would have went the Air Force route, I would have been like a jet engine mechanic or something like, you know what I mean? And part of the reason I didn't want to be a mechanic was my uncle. He was a Marines and he was a mechanic, and he just really kind of, it's like he was not happy that he went that route. Or I think he just got burnt out. He was just tired of being a grease monkey type individual. He was always kind of trying to get away from it, but he's always kind of getting pulled back in, I guess. I mean, he had a pretty good career, and he's retired now, but he didn't do just, working on cars. He worked for I think he retired from an electric company as, I don't know if he was a manager. I know he was like a manager for waste management, so like a garbage truck company, and he was a manager, but he left that and became, and kind of got a demotion, but got a better company for better benefits or something. I can't remember now. It's been a little while, but and I remember when I was in high school, he basically, so he got a job at some point in time for as a mechanic for an insulation company. And then the owner of that company opened a used car dealership. So my uncle got a job doing that. So he was like a used car salesman, but he was a mechanic. So he kind of managed the mechanics, and sometimes he would work on the cars or whatever, So he was always trying to get from just being underneath the car working on them, I guess. He just kind of, I don't know. He was good at it though, and I learned most of my stuff from him. Anyway, what the hell? Why am I talking about my uncle? Dude. There was a reason I went this route. Dude, I totally just went off on a whole tangent again. Long story short, I'm mechanically inclined, right? So since I've been here in the Philippines, I've really just kind of let, because it's cheap. Labor is cheap here. I get paid in US dollars, and then I can pay to have my car washed at a car place is like $2 basically, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I can go through and I can fix my bike, or I can replace a part, or I just take it to the bike shop and they can do it, and it's so much cheaper, right? But I just kind of come to find out that Filipinos don't really take pride in other people's, I don't know. I mean, all people are like this. I'm not trying to bash Filipinos. I'm really not. But maybe it's just because where we live up north, more country, rural area, I guess. I don't know. But in the States, companies generally try and push for good customer service and quality, service and all that kind of stuff, right? You don't always get it, but generally most of them are trying to do that, and you'll find, oh, this person's good, and you'll stick with them or whatever, this and that. But here it's like you get a lot of people that really kind of don't know what they're doing, and they're doing the best they can, but they're not very good, or they don't care really. They're just like, here you go, get out of here. You know what I mean? And then part of the problem is the language barrier. So most people here I can talk to, it may not be pretty, but they speak enough English to where, we can communicate, right? But it's like trying to, like, if you have two different kinds of parts, right? Because there's brands that I know, like Stanley, there's Stanley stuff here, but then there's brands here that I've never heard of, so it's like, I could ask somebody and be like, hey, which one's the best one? And, if somebody owns a shop, of course they want to sell the most expensive whatever, but generally it's like, even like at the main stores where they don't get commission or anything, they don't really know. They don't, they're like, oh, that one, because it's branded. And I'm like, because it's branded? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, that's it? Like, what's, you try and get like, why is this good? Or why is this better? Or why is this worse? Or is this actually good for the money? I'm not trying to spend a bunch of money. Like, I'm trying to find a part that is well made, but it's not branded. That's basically my mindset. I don't need to buy branded stuff, but I want something good, and I'll pay a little more for good, but I don't want to pay extra just because it has a name on it. So trying to get that all figured out is sometimes a hassle. So a lot of the parts that are on my mountain bike are cheap parts. And, I've been having problems ever since. And then, I was talking with my riding buddy about that. And because he's always like, man, you should get a new bike. You should get a new bike. And I'm like, I like my bike, man. I like my bike. I just need to get it dialed in with the right parts and everything. And I said to him, I was like, before I tried upgrading everything, I never had problems. And he was like, yeah, because everything was Shimano, which came with the Specialized bike. And I was like, you know what? That's true. That's right. So let's see, where am I at? 27 minutes later, basically, I'm done having people work on my bike, because I can work on the bike. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's like working on an old vehicle. You know what I mean? There's not much to it. Once you get it figured out, you can do it. I got pretty much all the tools I need. I've done a lot anyway, on my bike. So it's like, I just need to quit. I guess I was always kind of afraid that I would, I don't know, do something wrong, and then I'd go riding and something would fall off, like while I'm riding, and I'd crash or something maybe. But I know I'm capable of, like, I know if something is good or not. If I build something or fix something, either I'm happy with it, or I'm like, I'm okay, I think it's good, or I'm like, I don't know, I don't trust it. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty good at feeling good about something or not. So I just need to get off my lazy ass and just work on it myself and just do the research, because I don't really know everything. There's lots of little things involved, especially with the drivetrain on the bikes and stuff. So, but I just need to go buy. I think when I get paid, I'm going to buy, because Shimano you can get here. Is that how you say it? Shimano? Shimano? I think it's Shimano, right? You have SRAM, Shimano are like the two big ones, and there's lots of other ones, but I don't think SRAM is around here. But Shimano is. The only thing is, though, like I've said before, though, is just because something branded here doesn't mean it's good. Because I swear, like at the Shimano factory, which probably is in China, their quality control, they inspect it, and if this is like, okay, this is good quality, that's going to America. Yeah, this one's okay, that's going to the Philippines. You know what I mean? So that's always kind of there. But yeah, I just need to go buy. I'm going to buy a cassette and buy a derailleur, which will have a shifter as well, I guess, and put it on myself. And then Bob's your uncle. That's it. I think that, I just got to do it. I just got to bite the bullet and take the time and get it done. Because then I know if it's good. I know it's good or not. You know what I mean? I know what's on there. I know, if it's good quality or not. I don't know. But it's just one of those things, living overseas. It's like, this is one. I mean, it's a pretty minimal, moot, whatever. It's not that big a deal, to be honest with you. And for, I'm retired, so I have the time. It's just the motivation. That's what it is. The motivation to do it. So, but going riding the other day, even though it was only for like 45 minutes, I love riding on the trail. It's so much fun. Even when it's not really anything really fun, it's just riding on a dirt trail outside is just a lot of fun. It's always been, so it kind of got my blood going again, got me really wanting to get my bike going. So, man, just yesterday when it was broke, when I pulled it off and looked at it, and was like, I was just so frustrated because I just feel like all I've been doing is having parts replaced and stuff. But yeah, so I got to bite the bullet and spend a little more money, get the stuff, and just do it myself. And I'll probably be much happier and have less problems. Anyway, I've been talking for 30 minutes. Dang. I feel like I've been talking about jack shit. Let me know. Was this a good episode? Trolls, I get it. But, legitimately, people that are listening, let me know if you like listening to me talk about bullshit, or do you want me to focus on certain topics or whatever, which I do. I'm not, I'll I just talk about whatever. I don't, sometimes it's a focused topic or sometimes it's just me rambling like today. But anyway, I appreciate your time. Thanks for hanging out. Leave a comment, send me an email, theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. And God bless, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, thanks. Bye. You just put yourself through another episode of The Objective Jerk. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Please email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, comment, wherever you find this, follow. It all helps. But thanks again, and I'll see you next time.